gentlemen, this evening we are privileged to have one of the world's true wine experts, Eddie Osterland. In the wine trade, the highest distinction is awarded to those who have attained the title Master Sommelier. Currently, there are only 71 masters in the United States, and Eddie Osterland was the very first of them. A true pioneer. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Eddie Osterland.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Eddie Osterland, and I'm a master sommelier.
So he's a master sommelier?
We're going to test some food and wine, and I'm going to teach you a little bit about how to eat the food with the wine. I've spent over 30 years becoming an expert, and I think you will learn something very well tonight. Is everyone ready? I don't think so! Give me 5! I need some hands.
Okay, you probably guessed. I'm not really French. I'm from New Jersey. So how does a guy like me, a psychology major from New Jersey, become the first American master sommelier? It all started after I graduated from college and took a trip to Honolulu. Ended up in grad school and flat broke.
I needed a job. Well, think about this. If you go to school all day, you got to work at night. If you got to work at night in Honolulu, options: waiter, bartender. Okay? Now, I never did any one of those, so I lied my way into the Ilikai Hotel, filled out the application lying like crazy, and they stuck me on the top of the 32 floors up at the top of the eye, and now I'm a waiter. One night, something happened that really kind of changed my life. And what that was the maitre d' was walking through the dining room with his hardware in his hands, and he's on a hunt. He's looking for somebody, you know, and he's looking around, he can't seem to find anybody, and he's marching through, and, you know, us waiters, we were just kind of doing our job, cleaning glasses. You know, so all of a sudden, he's looking here, and he goes, Rodney. Oh, baby. Hey. He goes, Pierre, the sommelier, he just called in sick. You the man. I didn't find that too funny myself. But I said to the guy, I can't do that. I won't. I can't. I'm not doing that. The guy said, you will. You know, I got a lot of problems tonight. One of them's not going to be you, pal. He goes, here's the rules. Red wine, it goes with meat. White wine, you serve that with fish. If anybody's on the fence, just pitch them a little rosé.
Oh, if understanding wine was only that easy. Back to Honolulu. I made tons of money there as a sommelier. So I thought, why not go to wine school in France? So that's what I did. After wine school in France, I went to England and took the Master Sommelier exam. I was the first American to pass it. And voila! That meant now I was the first American Master Sommelier. And with this honor comes the awesome responsibility to share with you what I've learned about entertaining with wine. Let's start with a typical home party.
The average guy walks in, he grabs one of those macadamia nuts, and he pops in his mouth, gets that guy going. That's pretty good. I think I have another one. In fact, that's so good. Maybe I'll just carry the dish. That way I can load my mouth every 5 seconds with these little nuggets of salt and fat. So, rule number 1, serve the best first. Stop serving that simple stuff. What you want to do is you want to put the best thing they're going to have all night long in front of them right away, and you can't miss.
Everyone always asks me,
Eddie, at a wine tasting, what's the best way to cleanse the palate?
I'm going to taste the first wine. Then, we have crackers and bread. I'm going to cleanse the palate. So now, I'm cleansing the palate, I'm going to taste the second wine. It's pretty good. Let me ask you something. Do you think that this cracker has any influence on that second wine? It does, but here's an important point. This is the way you need to do this tasting, side by side. You taste that first wine. You quickly pick up the second glass. You take the crackers, put it in the glass. You see what just happened here? It tastes just the same, and you just saved a whole step.
Eddie, what about wine and cheese?
It's got a nice real brie. So let's buy that and buy it about 3 days before you're going to serve it, so it starts to get nice and gooey and runny, you know? And then when people come over, you slather up a little bread with that brie and let that go across your tongue. And then you try this red wine, and you know what's nice? You don't even have to taste that nastiness in that red wine, because you can't. You got a big film of oil and it's 80% butter fat. I know it's fun and slippery and all that stuff, but it puts a shield across your tongue. Cheese and wine? Yes. What kind? Hard cheeses, Pecorino, Parmesan, Manchego, dry-aged Chèvre. They work real well. They set the wines up because they're slightly salty and they're dry. They're not ooey gooey. Now, don't get me wrong. Suppose somebody gave you a wine tip, and you bought a whole case of wine, brought it home, and you've been drinking a couple of bottles, a couple of months go by, a couple more bottles. All of a sudden, at the end of the year or so, your wife says to you, "Hey, honey, that wine, it's not tasting the way it did when we first got it. I don't think it was that good a deal." This is when you use the brie. You can stretch that wine for another year.
So, Eddie, how much does a good bottle of wine cost?
Serious wine starts at $36 a bottle, retail. Okay? Ooh, get a little quiet here, yeah. That's not to say that I don't drink $15 bottles of wine, but I just want to say something. The idea is you got somebody coming over and you want to impress them. Here's how you do it. They don't know good wine, because if most people don't spend more than $15 on a bottle of wine, then you connect the dots. They've never had serious wine. So the idea is you want to show them how good wine can get. You want to have them go, "What's this? Never had anything like that." And the way you do is you put two wines in front of the people simultaneously so that they can taste one against the other. So you say to your guests, "Try these two wines. They're both Chardonnays." Well, they take them up, they drink them, decide, "Oh, they're very nice, they're different." Then you say something like this, "Well, one's from France and one's from California. The one that's tart is French, the one that's sweet is Californian." They go back and they try them, and they go, "Oh, this one must be French." And I go, "Yeah." And they go, "Really?"
And your guests learn about wine in your home from you. And here's how to have your guests feel special from the moment they arrive.
You probably just saw this ad on TV over the holidays. You've seen this one before. It goes like this. Ding, 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 ding. And they run it from December 16th to January 2nd. And January 2nd, they rip it back off, slap that baby on a hard drive, and go, "That's for next year," because it's no good, during the year. By living in France with a family for 4 years, I noticed that every time this family had people over, they started with champagne. Imagine, it's 7 o'clock at night, their doorbell rings, bing, bong, and you're standing there as you open the door, you've got a tray with some nice champagne flutes, and all you're looking for is for them to look at you and kind of go, "Ah, it's just us."
Of course, his humor is just way over the top. He's a fun guy to spend an evening with.
Eddie was a lot of fun. I thought it was going to be kind of boring.
He engaged the audience. I was so impressed by that. Looking around my table, everybody was just enthralled. Nobody was eating their food. Nobody was even drinking. They were just soaking up everything that Eddie had to say.
Eddie was outrageous. His humor rippled through the audience. It was so amazing. He just totally surprised us. He's so down to earth, and yet he wants to make sure that we leave the room with some knowledge that we haven't had before.
The champagne comes out first because Eddie says, "Give him the best first."
I've learned so much tonight about wine and good wine.
You could tell that he had the knowledge when he was talking to you, and it was really there. I enjoyed every minute of it.
Most sommeliers you listen to, even at, go to good restaurants, they're all sort of highfalutin. Eddie's not like that. He explained it in English that we could understand and use.
If you want to have a good combination of humor and useful information about wine, go and see Eddie. You will not regret it.
I can tell you that Trader Joe's are going to lose a lot of business for $2 chuck.